Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about LEGO Horizons and the fact that it was an absolute failure. We're going to be going over an article that talks about how big of a failure LEGO Horizons actually was. It seems like Sony this year has just had such a mixed year with gaming. They have seen some very nice highs with things like Stellar Blade and Helldivers 2. But they have also seen some of the lowest lows with things like the Until Dawn remake, LEGO Horizon, and the infamous Concord. I think the problem with this game is the fact that Sony puts way too much weight behind Horizon, and they think people actually like this series when most people don't give a flying shit about it. Sony loves to just say, oh, we sold so many copies of Horizon, we sold 20 million copies, but they'll completely forget to mention the fact that they bundled it with PlayStations. They will completely forget the fact that nobody ever talks about Horizon. When people talk about the greatest PlayStation franchises, nobody's talking about Horizon. PlayStation is so deep into huffing that galaxy gas that they deadass think this is the next God of War. It's crazy, dude. Now, LEGO Horizon, in my opinion, has better gameplay than the baseline Horizon games, so that is something that I can give it credit for. However, it is some of the worst optimization I have ever seen in my life. You can see here the game is getting 27 FPS on a 3060, which is the most popular card on Steam, and it's about equivalent to a PS5. I made a whole YouTube video talking about the fact that this game recommends a 3070. Even the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is a huge ripoff in my opinion, cannot play this game at a locked 60 FPS. Believe it or not, people have game backlogs that run way better than this and look way better than this in most cases, and they're not about to drop, $70 on this game just for it to run like shit. But let's just get into the article, and after that I will share some final thoughts. New PlayStation game is performing worse than Concord on Steam. You know what's bad when a game is performing worse than the biggest flop in recent gaming history known as Concord? Like, how do you flop harder than Concord, man? But at least with this game, unlike Concord, it's single player, so it's not like it requires a high player count to be playable or at least get good lobbies. But let's continue reading. LEGO Horizon Adventures has gotten off to a very slow start on Steam, amassing a lower all-time high player count than flop hero shooter Concord on the platform. It's still early days for LEGO Horizon Adventures, but these initial numbers continue a worrying trend for PlayStation Studios on Steam. Earlier this month, LEGO Horizon Adventures launched to mixed reviews, with confusion over who the game is actually for. Some critics felt that it would appeal to neither LEGO nor Horizon fans, leaving it in an odd place of limbo. Player reception hasn't been much better either. Steam reviews are currently marked as mixed, with just 58% of reviews sitting at positive at the moment. This could all change with future updates, but right now this reception is being reflected in its player count. Here's the thing, man, there are very few actual Horizon fans. Now, I don't think Horizon is utter dog shit, like unplayable jank slop. Like, on the grand scale of things, it's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but when you have so many like 9 and 10 out of 10 experiences out there to play, why would you play this 7 out of 10 like mediocrity? We're not gonna pretend it's a 1 out of 10 like a fucking game that one guy made, you load it up, it plays a fucking fart noise and crashes on you type shit, but it's not great. But the article references bad reviews on Steam, so what I thought we could do is just kind of read through a few of them. The family gathers around and plays the LEGO games, so we were glad to finally see another one come out. However, the animations are amateur at best. Seems like they let the interns create the game. It just looks very cheap, and if kids straight out of college made it as an intern project. The guy put 2.1 hours in, so I think he kinda knows what he's talking about. This next guy here says wait for at least 50% off. It's a short and shallow game, and the retail price is far too high. Graphics are fantastic, but graphics don't make a good game. Levels are insanely linear, short, and often claustrophobic. Combat is about as complex as picking your nose. Playable characters and progression lack any real depth. We're gonna go over one more review here. I bought the game on day 1 to play it with my son because we loved playing LEGO Star Wars together in a local co-op. We were really looking forward to playing, so we turned the game on for the very first evening of the release day. And there was the first bump. I wasn't able to create a Sony PSN account because the registration process kept giving me, "Can't create an account. Contact customer support for assistance error." And of course there was no customer support contact anywhere. I gave up after 5 or 6 attempts. So no playing on the release day. The day after, I was finally able to create the PSN account, so we gave it another shot. First run ended up with PlayStation Network error. Second run ended up with black screen of death and reboot. Finally, we were able to start the game successfully. Hooray! But only to discover that the local co-op doesn't work with keyboard and controller together, and you actually need 2 controllers on the PC platform to play the game in local co-op. So the very reason to buy this game is currently unavailable to us until I buy a second controller. I really wouldn't expect that much hassle just to play a co-op LEGO game. The fun is postponed, sad face. So yeah, it seems like the gameplay is very shallow, there's really not all that much depth to it, and there's tons of issues with the game that could easily be fixed if Sony didn't mandate this fucking PSN requirement all the time. According to SteamDB, LEGO Horizons managed just 602 concurrent players upon its launch, and the number has only declined since then. Over the most recent weekend, it peaked at 150 players, which is rough by any metric. For a grim comparison, cancelled hero shooter Concord hit an all-time peak of 697 players, which won't make for pretty reading for PlayStation Studios. Given how LEGO and Horizon are both big names among gamers, it's somewhat surprising that the number is this low, even with the critical reception. I genuinely don't think it's surprising at all. The only thing that's really Horizon about the game is the main character, Aloy, and she's not really the most popular and well-loved PlayStation mascot. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. Like, she's kinda just this character that's there. Like, compare her to someone like Kratos. Kratos has been around for like twice as long and has so many die-hard fans that would buy a LEGO game in an instant that has Kratos as the main character. We have PlayStation Studios' all-time high Steam player counts, with LEGO Horizons being the lowest of the bunch, obviously being below Concord as well. Since making a conscious effort to bring its games to PC, PlayStation Studios has had a mixed success rate on the platform. Many of its games have flopped on Steam with low concurrent player counts for many. Even Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart failed to break 9,000 concurrent players. LEGO Horizon Adventures isn't the lowest ever. That title belongs to Everybody's Gone to the Rapture with 191 players. But still, with the name value of LEGO and Horizon, it should be able to achieve a better number than 602. Well, the thing is they didn't even try with it. Yes, Horizon is not the most popular thing in the world. Not everyone loves Horizon, so it's not going to be all that popular. However, actually make it worth it for the fans of Horizon that are out there, even if it is like a niche group. Don't have sign-in errors and then tell people to contact customer support with no contact support numbers or anything on the screen. Optimize the game to run well. If it's like a 6-hour game like people are saying it is, make sure it's fun, replayable, and addictive. Just make a good game. It hasn't all been doom and gloom for PlayStation Studios on PC though. It's worth remembering that Helldivers 2 is one of the biggest hits of the year, and games like Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and Marvel's Spider-Man all performed extremely well on Steam. Overall, it has been great to get these previously exclusive titles on PC, and hopefully PlayStation Studios will see the highs as being worth the lows. What is the main takeaway of this video? If you make a bad product, you get a bad result. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out.